What's going on, everybody? It's Drive Time back at it again. I had to talk about the hazards that come along with this whole idea of debating, and it's one of the things that I used to frequently engage in, and I stopped pretty much altogether because of this. Most people aren't able to recognize the pattern that pretty much everybody takes when they're losing a debate. Strategies to win kind of vary. The losing side often follows the same steps, and I'm gonna lay all of them out so you can understand what they are, so you can see it coming, so you can choose whether or not to engage in these kind of debates and conversations, because they're starting to get pretty popular amongst social media and social groups. So say you get in a debate with somebody and you are intellectually outmatching them. First thing that's going to happen is they're going to try to dig their way out. The further you beat them, the worse it gets. They're going to have to switch strategies. So the first strategy they're going to come with is personal attacks. You'll often hear people say ad hominem, and it's just, I think it's Latin, but it basically is just them trying to change their focus to you directly as a person rather than the point or the topic that you are discussing. The reason why they do this is to get you to shift your focus so that you're on defense instead of offense. Usually anybody who's on offense in the debate is the person who wins, and if you can maintain it, that's how you win overall. So you get personal attacks first. They're going to insult you. They're going to try to make snide remarks to get you to focus on that rather than the topic at hand. Next, character assassination. So this is going to be, if you're in a group of people, they're going to start looking towards the group to rally the group to now dislike you for something or expose something about you or try to make a rumor about you. And that's if it's in person. If it's in social media, same idea, but digging up something from your past, trying to post something about you, trying to expose some secret, whatever. However that looks, it's all to get you to, again, shift your focus from making your point that they can't defend into you trying to defend yourself from the accusation that they're making or trying to save your reputation for the group. Anybody who's very good at debates doesn't fall for either one of these. I know this because I learned these steps very early on in life. Quick story, I am in my 40s. I was around when the internet first started to get popular, before there was live chats. They had chat rooms where you had to type what you want, then post it, then refresh to see replies. And me and my brother and some of my friends would go into chat rooms specifically for the purpose of debating people and watching these steps play out. So these are the first two. There's two more. And we also did this in person for intellectual reasons, because we wanted to sharpen ourselves verbally and linguistically, and we wanted to make sure that we had a quick wit and a sharp intellect. So we did this amongst each other on a routine basis. We would even do something called a pro-con, where you just take a position and then the other person takes the opposite side, and you purposely try to go back and forth to see who can articulate it better. It's an exercise they put in many college courses. So you got insults, you got character assassination. Now, the next one is evading. So this is where what we would see is, in a chat room, people would just log off or move to a different room. Whereas now, if it's like a TikTok situation or something like that, the same thing. The person kind of logs off. This is when you see a person shut off the comments. This is when you see a person block people or mute people in Zoom rooms or stuff like that, because they realize that nothing's working and they don't want to keep losing, so they just run. And again, people who are relentlessly aggressive debaters won't let this work either. We would go and find the people in different chat rooms and bring it back up. Like I was good at it. I was around people who were good at it. I've seen it all play out. So then you get the fourth. The fourth step is violence. You're either going to be threatened or they're actually going to do something. So again, this looks like if you're in a group full of people, the insults are going to turn into threats. So instead of, yeah, your point is invalid because it's just, look, I'll slap you. What, you want to step outside or something? Because again, the whole thing that the person is trying to do is find a place to where they feel like they are at the advantage. And if they can't outmatch you mentally, they'll fall back on maybe they can dominate you physically. So they'll want to try to fight. So again, you get insults, character assassination, evading, and violence. And sometimes you will have people who will actually carry out these threats. So again, if you're in a room full of people and they're threatening and try to turn it into a thing, that's why you'll see people like go from arguing and quipping back and forth, and then it turns into wrestling and fighting and stuff. It's because the person who was losing had to try to find a way to somehow feel like they got the upper hand on the other person. And so I say all that to say, when you see something like what happened yesterday to Charlie Kirk, understand that this also happened to Malcolm X. This also happened to Martin Luther King. This also happened to JFK. This happens time and 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 time again. And if you don't believe me, just pay attention. Look in your Facebook feeds, look in your TikTok streams, look in your history books. It happens the same way every time. Maybe they skip a step, maybe they don't do all four, but it's always the same. When they can't outmatch you mentally, they don't have the words, they don't have the information, they don't have the memory and the statistics. They have to try to find a way to get the upper hand. And this is how it happens. And I say all this to say, again, people are feeling like this whole debating thing is really a popular trend right now. But understand, some people can't take the L. And Charlie handed out a lot of them. And this is the result. I guarantee you, when they figure out who this person is and what this person's motive is, he had an issue with something that Charlie said that he and many other people could not argue against. And so they did this.